Yes, same fit as the last video, but hats backwards, so completely different. Alright, here we go. We're here to talk about the round of 32 and how amazing it's been. I mean, March Madness has not disappointed this year. It hasn't disappointed in the round of 64, and round of 32 didn't let up, to say the least. Alright, let's start off with Saturday's games. Now, Saturday, the first game I want to cover is Maryland, Alabama. Why? Well, because Alabama, as the 1 seed, went in, took care of business, right? In large thanks to who? Quinley. Looks like their guard, Quinley, 22 points. All right. And I'm pretty sure Brandon Miller did more of this game than he did in the round of 64, considering the fact that, Brandon Miller dropped 1. All right. Next game, Auburn versus Houston. Not a surprise there. Houston, 1 seed, took out Auburn. It was, you know what though? Auburn did have a 10-point lead going into the half. Houston saw that, and they weren't gonna be the second 1 seed to come out of this tournament. So they scored 50 in the second half. Crazy. That might be the most all tournament. But they did end up winning the game by 17 points. Next is Arkansas, Kansas. Now, first upset that we're covering here, Arkansas 8 seed took out the reigning champ Kansas Jayhawks. Now, was this surprising? Yeah, absolutely. Did I have the Jayhawks losing in the round of 32? No, I had them losing in the round of 16. But, the fact that they came out this early surprises even me. Penn State versus Texas. Texas 2 seed. Honestly, I didn't even think I did not have Penn State making it out the round of 64, so the fact that they made it here, congrats to Penn State for making it to the second round. But, yeah, no, Texas took care of business, got a strong early lead in the beginning, didn't let go. And Disu, forward for Texas, dropped 28 points, 10 rebounds to lead them to a victory. Next, we have Northwestern versus my favorites of the tournament, UCLA. Yeah, I had go watch my video on the main channel. What's it called? Why, March Madness is so special. I actually made a bracket and had UCLA winning the whole thing. And so far, I don't know. It looks pretty good to me. But yes, they did win this game by 5 points versus Northwestern. In large thanks due to Jaime Jaquez Jr., who went ahead and dropped 24 points with 8 rebounds. Next, Duke versus Tennessee. Talk about the fall of the Blue Bloods. I mean, Duke and Kansas losing on the same day. Wild. But Duke wasn't the favorites heading into this game. They were, in fact, a 5th-seeded team. And, yeah, honestly, I was watching the game for... I want to say I watched 3/4 of this game before turning it off. Because I was waiting for Duke to make that push, come back in the game. Never happened. Next game, Furman versus San Diego State. Now, a lot of people had Furman obviously winning in the first round as an upset to Virginia. Ended up happening. I didn't because I'm like, they're a favorite underdog, which, wild. So, I actually had Virginia winning, so they surprised me here, even making it this far, but it wasn't enough as San Diego State absolutely pounded these guys. I mean, they came out the gate swinging. Let's see. San Diego State's, the reason they won, big shout out to Lamont Butler, who had himself a game, like an all-around game. He didn't score the most points out of anybody this tournament, but he got 12 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. You can't ask for more than that. Princeton versus Missouri. Now, this 15 seed, God, I don't know how Princeton beat Purdue, but sorry. Princeton did not beat Purdue. They beat Arizona. Yes, I'm thinking of the wrong. I don't know how Princeton took down Arizona, but they did, and now they're here versus Missouri. God, Missouri. How'd you make the tournament, man? You lose to a 15-seeded Princeton team. This was your chance to make a deep run, and you absolutely choke it. But big shout out Ryan Langborg. He's on the cover of this video. Deserves it. Dude absolutely balled with 22 points and 6 rebounds as he led Princeton to a 15-point win. So that's it for day 1 of the second round. As for day 2, things kick off with a little bit of Michigan State versus Marquette drama. Now, the drama here is that Marquette's a 2 seed. Honestly, I saw them as the weakest of the 2 seeds and the 1 seeds. Marquette, I thought was the weakest. I thought they might get bounced in the first round versus Vermont. Didn't happen, but, Michigan State comes in as a 7th seed, upsets the big dogs and the big dogs in Marquette, beats them by 9 points. It was close until it wasn't, until it was again. You know what I mean? Michigan State got off to a big lead early on, lost that lead in the middle of the game, right after half, and then got it back. So a lot of ups and downs. Shout out Tyson Walker. Michigan State Spartan did really well, 23 points. Next is TCU versus Gonzaga. Now, TCU versus Gonzaga, I don't know, man. There wasn't a lot for me to root for in this game. But Drew Timme did his thing as a super senior. I don't know how long this man's been on the team. Seems like forever. But Gonzaga did end up winning by 3 after trailing for like the first half of this game. In large part to Timme's 28 points and his 8 rebounds. Next, we have St. Mary versus UConn. Now, UConn, I love. I had them beating the Jayhawks in the next round, but, you know, Jayhawks didn't even make it that far. So, I had them in the Elite 8. You know, I believe in this UConn team. Sanogo, 24 points, 8 rebounds. Great for UConn, as he brought them to, like a 15-point victory? Yeah, it was close at half, don't get me wrong, but St. Mary just couldn't stick around. Next is Creighton versus Baylor. Now, Creighton is another one of the teams I like in this tournament, mainly because of the commercial. You've seen the commercial if you watch ESPN. She, lady with binoculars, she spots a bluebird, sees that, and is all like, Creighton flies. They fly to the next round. I love that commercial. Anyway, after seeing that commercial, I'm like, okay, NCAA rigged this tournament, so let's go Creighton Elite 8. You know, and I mean, one more game away from it. And who are they playing? I'm pretty sure Creighton is facing Princeton, right? Yeah. So Creighton to the Elite 8 is a real possibility. Next is Pittsburgh Xavier. Now, Xavier, Pittsburgh, not a game I was too interested in, so I didn't watch it. But, yeah, Xavier manhandled Pittsburgh. Ended up winning by only 11, but they had a much larger lead in the middle of the game. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, Xavier 3 seed takes out 11 Pittsburgh. Not surprising. Kentucky versus Kansas State. Now, I really like Kansas State because of one man, Keontae Johnson. Why? Well, Keontae Johnson, if you don't know his story, he actually, he passed out on the court 2 years ago when he was playing for Florida. 2-3 years ago-ish. And, turns out he has what they call athlete's heart. So, you know, not the best heart in the world. Kind of overworked himself. So now he's got to wear a heart monitor every time he plays. But Kansas State saw this dude hooping in high school, saw him hoop for Florida, gave him a chance, and it's pulling off because now they're a 3 seed, and they're on to the Sweet 16 for the first time in what? I don't know Kansas State's history. But, also Marquise Noel, is that his name? Yeah, Marquise Noel had an absolute game. He balled out at only 5'8", I'm pretty sure. But, I mean, hey, short king, you know? 27 points, 9 assists, and let's not forget his 3 steals. The next game, Miami versus Indiana. Honestly, kind of a snooze fest. Miami took care of business. They were the better team. They did their thing. They ended up winning by 16 points. Not surprising. Honestly, Indiana, I had as an upset. I wasn't really confident in Indiana winning the first round. They lost in the second round. So was I that wrong? Now this last game I want to talk about is the Fairleigh Dickinson 16 seed. Now, these guys are the ones that beat Purdue. Don't get me wrong, I love Zach Edey, but God, this 16th seed is one to root for. They're going up against what many call the regular season Cinderella story in Florida Atlantic, who actually had a really good regular season going 33-3. And that put them as a 9th seed in the tournament, which honestly, absolutely deserved. It was 2 underdogs versus each other this early on. You don't see it really. But one of them had to lose. And unfortunately for Fairleigh Dickinson, although they got it real close at the beginning of the second half, they weren't able to stick with it. Ended up losing by 8. And our 16th seeded Cinderella story ends there. But we still got Princeton if you're really into that. Alright, that's it for the round of 32 recap. I just wanted to talk about it real quick. I'll probably be doing this for every round of the NCAA tournament. But since there is a big break here from round of 32 to Sweet 16, I thought I'd start with this one. Plus, it's a new channel, so make sure to subscribe, Really helps with the algorithm if you like the video. Do that. Catch y'all later. Deuces.